Hi everyone, this is Nikki Rowland and today I have a layout for Hip Kit Club. I'm using the January 2021 kits. They are super beautiful, full of whimsical things like unicorns and rainbows, so what's not to like? Love it. My assignment today is to use the January main kit only. So that means to use no other kits. So as a DT member, of course, we get the embellishment kits and the pocket life kits and the colour kit, those kind of things. So I'm not allowed to use any of those, only the main kit. Initially I got very excited about being able to use the pocket life cards, and then I realised that no, I couldn't. So I get that out and I'm all excited about it and then have to quickly put it away before I accidentally use it. The other thing we are allowed to use is the cardstock kit. So I have grabbed a piece of pink tutu pink card from the cardstock kit, and I've got this sheet of rainbows paper. I love rainbows. They're just so happy and friendly, aren't they? So I'm using the rainbow paper to create a starburst design. So that is the other part of my assignment today, is to make a starburst design and to include some stitching. So I'm using this sheet of paper, the rainbow paper, and I have chosen a point on my layout that I want to be the central point. Doesn't have to be in the center. From there I've taken a ruler and a pencil and I have drawn lines randomly going from the point to the edges of the piece of paper. Oh, I must say that I also trimmed down my layout, my piece of paper first to about 11.5 inches because I want to have a border showing around the edge of the layout, and I want some gaps in between. So I just cut it with scissors, as you saw. I also trimmed off little bits as I was going so that each shard would have a gap from the next one, and that's just so that I can have the pink showing through. So I have spent some time cutting that out and then distressing the edges, and that now I've got them all sorted and stuck back in position. And now I've just gone and done the sewing on my sewing machine. So I've just used white thread and I have gone from the center out towards the edges on each side of each shard of the starburst, but I haven't gone around the square edges of the layout, so I only have 2 rows of stitching per shard. Yeah, it looks really good. I've distressed the edges of each one before I stitched, and then once I'd stitched, I then spent a couple of minutes folding up the edges a little bit more, just so that they're proud and they stick up a bit from the layout, so they have some dimension. So it's a nice, I love a starburst design. I really enjoy it. I love creating texture and dimension on my layout, and I certainly have loads of it with a design like this. So you can see that I decided to remove one of the shards, and that was so that I had a spare area, not spare, an area of white space. Just white space doesn't have to be white, it just has to be clear of other things. Even though I'm not planning it to remain white space, I'm planning to fill it up with embellishments. It just gives me a place to put some things in where they will not get lost in the rainbow pattern, because the rainbow pattern is gorgeous, but you can't put much on top of it because it doesn't read as a solid. It's a very heavily busy pattern paper. If it had been like a pink tone on tone polka dot or something, then things on top of a print like that would show up. It reads as a solid colour, but this one definitely does not. It's a white background with lots and lots of rainbows all over it, and therefore it is definitely not a solid pattern, and therefore putting things on top will get lost in that pattern, because they have to compete with each other. That's why. So that's why you can see the embellishments I'm choosing to go around the outside of my photo are plain in colour, so solid, rather than very busy patterns, and certainly no white backgrounds with busy patterns on them. That wouldn't work. I've gone for solid colours, so I've got that solid purple piece to the right, I've got the bluish turquoisey speech bubble, again that's a solid colour, and it really shows up against the very busy background. So that's why I'm choosing things like that. I really love the chipboard rainbow on the chipboard pieces, so I've just put that to the bottom left of my photo, from there I'm just going to fiddle around quite a long time with all these things until I'm happy with my cluster. Now my cluster has got to go in the middle of all those points so that it's all being drawn into that focal point, so my photo is going to sit there, and I'm able to add some embellishments over on the left side of the layout where I left that area of pink white space. So I'm going to fill that up with my title and some other bits and pieces. I'm not going to go overboard because the layout is mostly about the Starburst design and the rainbows, so I don't want to go crazy busy with embellishments, because for a start you won't see them that well if they sit over the top of the rainbows, and two, it just it just ends up making the layout look super busy and not that pleasing to the eye if it's too busy with too many patterns. So I need to keep things fairly simple and to choose and be wise in what I choose to use as embellishments. So the wood veneer that was in the January 2021 main kit is fabulous because it's a very different color to everything else, and it's solid, it's not see-through in any way, and the letters on there are mostly in black, so therefore they really pop against the very, very busy background. So I'm using plenty of those. So I'm still fiddling around with my photo cluster. I can't quite get it right. I love the colors of the speech bubble and the purple frame that I fussy cut from a piece of paper, but they just weren't quite sitting right, so I just keep moving them around until I'm happy with where they are. So over on the right hand side I've added the Imagine light bulb wood veneer. Underneath the photo I've added a little word that says happy. I'm adding another little wood veneer that says you make life brighter. At the top there I've added the wood veneer square that says dream big, and then over on the left I've added two wood veneer strips, one that says all you have to do is stand and sparkle, and the other one that says it's a day for sugar and sprinkles. And above and below those I've got little words from the ephemera, which says possibilities, and the other one says go for it. Right on the edge of the pink space there's a little chipboard that says don't give up, that's next to the rainbow, and I'm also going to add the ephemera title you are magical, and that's over in the pink area too. So I'm just spending some time getting everything stuck down and in place. I've got another little tiny purple frame fussy cut from one of the papers, and you can see that just down there, just to the right of the layout there. I'm going to make a little feature out of that, and I'm going to stick it like overlapping some of the layers, and I've put a small wood veneer heart on there, and I've also put a wood veneer heart onto the rainbow as well. I love the wood veneers. They've got, some of them are printed with black writing and some of them are embossed with gold foiling, so they are super duper pretty. We've never really had anything like this before, I don't think. I really love them. They're totally awesome. I think wood veneer shapes are making a comeback. We haven't had them, not necessarily in Hip Kit, but just generally we haven't had them for ages, so it's nice to see some wood pieces popping up here and there now. I really love to paint wood veneer, although I didn't paint these ones because they're already so pretty with their printing and the foiling. Okay, so just getting everything stuck in place, just stuck in place my title, and now I want to add in those two little ephemera hearts top left, but they are, I just felt that they needed an outline, so I have just drawn an internal offset, if you like, around the middle, or not the middle, but around the inside edge of the hearts, and then I'm raising both of those up on foam pads to make them stand out even more. I've also overlapped them slightly as well. So coming in now with these fabulous puffy stickers that are like buttons, so cute, I love them. I'm using those, just pulling them off the sheet and putting them directly onto the layout. However, I wasn't happy with how they looked without the buttonholes, because my pattern is very, very busy. You could see the pattern shining through the holes, so I just put the holes back in to those stickers. Okay, so I'm getting there now. I'm nearly done. I want to add some splatters, and I have cheated slightly because I'm going to add splatters using the Precious Posy inklings which we got in the January colour kit. However, you could use splatters from anything. Actually, I already had that in my stash, so in theory I'm kind of cheating, but not. So any kind of purple paint would work well, or anything really. You could have gone for white paint splatters or gold, whatever works really. But I did feel that this layout needed a few splatters, so I did go for the Precious Posy from the January colour kit. So I've just put some water in it there. I'm letting it sit for a few minutes while I put my twiddles of gold thread in. So these twiddles gave me a bit of grief really. Over on the right, that was fine I think, but the one on the left I had to do like 3 times. It wouldn't go under my embellishments and stick. It just kept, every time I pulled my finger away, it came out as well. So I was getting quite cross with it in the end, but eventually it did stay, and it looks okay. It's not perfect, but it'll do. Okay, so now I'm just finishing off with a few splatters of that purple paint that I mentioned earlier from the January colour kit, but you could really use any splatters if you don't subscribe or get the colour kits. So nearly done now, just adding some areas of splatters all the way around the middle focal point where the photo is. And I just need to add in some journaling. I'm going to do that off camera because actually I don't think I've done it yet. I haven't. I was going to do it off camera because I didn't want to smudge my my splatters, and then I've forgotten to do it, so I better do that. Okay, thank you very much for joining me today. Don't forget that if you are a Hip Kit Club subscriber, you get the main kit at a reduced price, 15% discount off all add-on kits, and access to exclusive subscriber cut files. So lots of reasons to subscribe. Thank you very much for joining me today. That was Nikki Rowland for Hip Kit Club.